the Orion Empire. Betelgeuse, Bellatrix, Aniltak, Alnilam, Mintaka. And a very fun in all that they all have like Arabic name, and these people, shamanic people name Orion, Nebula, Saif, Rigel. Rigel have a lot of grace here, so whatever this woman is talk here in this webinar, it's not always the absolute truth. Okay, I'll try to filter as much as I can. Not that I know everything. I do not know everything. I am still dabbing and digging to find out more and more and more. Okay, as I age, at least mentally wise. So, who is the friend and who is the enemy? Like I said earlier, the universe is teeming with life, absolutely teeming. Yeah, this everybody knows. And there's not even space. They have told you wrong. Everywhere there is something occupying space, but all that we don't see with this matrix physiological eyes. Okay, so there are so many different star races that even if we all of mankind would come together and try to research more, in 100 years we would all be able to catalog a very few. Yeah, that's true, because there's many multiverses. There's many classes of universe. Whoever says that there's only our universe, the constellation, the Milky Way, and the solar system, doesn't know much, and this person has a very limited concept about the creation. Okay, so we'll be able to catalog a very few compared to how many there are. However, what is important for us human is we star races um, directly or indirectly interfere with human evolution, how they do it and who they are in alliance with. Well, in my understanding, after being researching for many years since the end of the 80s and the beginning of 90s, in my own point of view, I find that all those here in the solar system, in the universe where we are the one who has invested a lot in this species here, okay, in this planet. I'm not saying just humans, but everything there is, they have invested in a lot. I'm not gonna say that they are the ultimate gods, that they are absolute God. I'm not saying they could be for you, not for me, even if indirectly and covertly. Okay? But not for me. I don't see them as a god. I don't want to acknowledge. I'm sorry. I have my own kind of thinking. I see them as much as a creature created by the cosmic nature as we are. Okay? I see them as my fellow creature created by the cosmology. That's how I view these entities. Okay? And they are not quite human. They can be humanoid, but they are not quite humans as they put up to be here and many others. So I do not buy this bumble jumble that they are humans and they are white, or they are this and that. I don't buy that. I'm sorry, I don't buy. Although I did have had instances whereby I have had encounter with black beings from outer space. I have seen blondes. I have seen orientals also, dolphins oriental also had, and grays, the zeta, the fatty one, shorty and fatty, and other type of grays. I have had encounter with them. I'm not gonna say that they are that, because they can mimicry. Okay, mimicry means they can transform themselves at will. They even tell that their hands and their ability is faster than a human eyes, and they are bright in that they can fool us into see what they want us to see. And most of it, not to me, they are just smokeless beans or made of fires. Okay, fire sparkle, and they can transform anything. Are they human? No, I don't think so. They're not humans. They came here. They already found us here. Have they invested in us? On us? Have. Yeah, have. And some here are working for them. Some here, most of them are working for them. And Jews below, Jews who work for them also are, um, how to say, covertly, not covertly, directly also working for these aliens. So in these papers, level 2, you will only touch on a few of these many races who are interacting with us or are watching us from a distance without interfering. If they are watching, because they are interfering. I don't think so. Why I would I go and spy my neighbor if I was not interfering with them? I mean, go zip about their life. I'm interfering. How about their privacy? The reason I'm concentrating on the aliens, there's no such thing as the aliens here and here on Earth, are those people from some Indians, from Central Indians, India, the country of India, and the early Persian. They were the real aliens. Aliens is a title. I don't know where these people from Europe have got this idea that they are alien. Only because they have the swastika. That one is an emblem that means a group or a confederation. Okay, that they represent a confederation is that they work for alien faction. And Syrians in particular is because these two star groups are and have been having a greater influence on our evolution than anybody else. They say, okay, if they are aliens, that means aliens are not humans at all. They are humanoids. They are aliens. And alien here represents a confederation, a faction. Again, I will um, stress it, stress it out. A great influence on evolution. No. They are not. This is not a race. This is not a species. This is just a one symbol. Okay, a symbol of a confederation. That's why many people don't know nothing. I mean, here I just open my mouth. My gosh, oh my gosh. I'm so lucky that I know so many things that just dab inside. I'm lucky. I don't have riches. I don't have material riches, but I have material. I have riches inside. I have interior riches and intelligence. So, and not only that, when people try to catalog different ET species, most don't understand that what we think are different races are often one and the same but under another disguise, because they can they can use mimicry and transformation and elude a lot. You know what is most stupid is the fact that when people see this is being and go ghost, 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 and it's not a ghost, it's because they are made of light, photonic light, like our souls are, and also because they can also explode like a fire, just like that, in front of you. Those are aliens. Again, I will stress it out. Those are not ghosts. Jai is very hard to be here. There is no way we'll be allowed to stay here for a long time, okay? I'm sorry to break the bubble of illusion, but I have to. Remember, I wrote about how species mostly don't come in the physical, but none travel without bodies or spaceships just by thought. It's thought. But those that I see have spaceships. Those that came camouflaged with a body, they had space. But the blacky one that I have seen in August, he was shorty, big stomach, full of yeses, the face and body, and have a loin clothes around his waist. He was not used as spacecraft. They were just battle. I saw them beyond the atmosphere. Spaceships are, spaceships are really not necessary to travel the universe. Of course not. If they want, they can use the mind, but sometimes I guess they're so tired that they cannot bother to think. They just use it, a tool which will be less tiring for them, except for beings who are not evolved enough to put technology aside and travel in spirit. Huh? Put technology aside. That means, okay, if they travel with spirit, they use technology. And then what the heck are their spacecraft, not a technology? It's a great mothership. Inside that, there's even series there. Each room compartment, you open one room, you face one series or something like that. That's why I tell you that people don't know. There's so many things that they should come out now, and I know, and that's why I'm here, because even this Sitchin, all those Robert Morningstar, all this, they only talk about who is best, who are worst, who is best, who are those. They are taking sides, and they pull the boat to their side. You see, they always pull the fish to their side. They only want to bad mouse the other civilization, say the other one's best, is blah 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 blah. Understand? I'm not like that. I want to stay on the middle always. So, aside in travel, no, they travel to spirit. The reason why they don't use always these techniques of using how to say it, psychic, they don't want to use their psychology and their mind to travel, is because most of the time it takes a lot of energy, and they want to save the energy for something else. It may seems like a foolish thing to say, but it's true. It takes a lot of energy to use psychic power. Okay, so that's why they don't use always. They don't think I want to be there and boom, they'll be. They rather take spacecraft because if anything happened to them, the spacecraft can just return without them, and they just use the signature energy for this craft to return without them in any case something happened to them. Okay, so there's no such thing because they are not advised. You see how people are dividing, how people are arrogant in using divisions between species. I don't like that. When doing the later, they can use the avatar to mock themselves up as any kind of being like they like. Humans, greys, reptilians, giant immortal men, winged dragons, you name it. These invaders do everything they can to confuse and manipulate us. It's just avatars. Any form they want to appear, they'll appear. With that, I would like to start talking some more about the aliens and the Orion Pi. Aliens again is a group confederation going to be aliens. It's not humans and much less Hitler race. Okay, it's not Hitler race because the aliens were in India and the ancient Persia. Okay, which today is Iran. The paper of this one will expose the Syrian lords, the so-called Saemai, for what they really are. Saemai look like a indigenous American name for what they really are. Although I like to believe, and there is some evidence for this, that there may be a faction of them who evolved into stages of higher consciousness and are actually willing to assist us in helping ourselves. Yeah, they will help, but if a catch, there's like always a catch. There's always um, if and a why. Huh? And the Syrian lords are in cohorts with the Native American, and do some the religions organize the religion. They are behind the religion system here on earth, and those beings that always come up on the Draco, they have invested a lot in Orion and this the whole of the universe. Okay, the universe which we live in, solar system. They have invested a lot in Orion, Syria. They have invaded the Lyra, and they have mixed up themselves through sex or no sex or artificial engineering or hatching from an egg. They have been hatched from an egg. Helping ourselves is key phrase, because if a star race says they are coming here to save us, I would run the other way. I would not run, but I would say, tell them just piss off. I have come, but there's stupid people who are praying for this. Oh, please come save me and my family, please, please. These people are so selfish and so naive and selfish. Nobody's coming to save you but yourself. I have been always emphasizing it. Nobody is coming to save you. I have come to this strong conviction that we are our only saviors. Star races who follow universal laws can help us by giving us the tools for self-improvement. Some channeled information goes under this category. But if you some say they are coming here in spaceships to save us or take us on board to transport us to some other dimension, I wouldn't believe them. No, it's Hogwarts, all this. I have seen, I have to repeat every time. I have seen in 2013, they come in and then there's a very great tsunami and their mothership land on the middle of that huge waves. And I was just in one of the waves. I was swimming, and the wave was so huge. And the mothership landed in that wave, huge mothership, almost bluish, gray color, bluish, and it open lift up, the door lift up, and there come a guy with a blue uniform, blonde. But look at before you say, but you say there's no blonde people, no human. Listen, I will say those that they can mimic cry and they can use any trick possible to deceive people, even when we die. Okay, they can deceive because I say that they said that their hands and abilities are faster than our eyes, and it's true. And I saw them as a blonde, but he was not blonde at all. And there's somebody with me, and this person was swimming towards them and asked them for help, and they stretched their human arms to help this guy up. But when it came my turn, as I come like this halfway, to reach their ship. I was kind of like reluctant. They closed the spacecraft and didn't allow me in. And I say to them, just I say expletive to them, just be soft. And then I just go, I swim backwards in the wave. And I didn't care, I just go, whoa, hooray! And the thing just took me and I die. That's what happened, understand? But I was very happy, I didn't care. They have their own agenda and only need our permission to come and take you and do whatever they want to do with you. Or to come down here to rule you for 1,000 years. Whatever the deal is. The disclosure everybody seems to be waiting for, constantly looking up into the skies, is not going to be in form of a massive landing of benevolent ascended masters or other evolved beings. Sure not. The contact will rather be on a personal level. Star beams or star races make a connection with individuals or groups who are walking or breaking out of the entrapment. In other words, those who are ready for an encounter. I have had many encounters with them, started with grays and blonde naked girls, slim blonde naked girls, and AI came, androids, cyborgs, a lot of them. But the one who most disclosed to me was the blonde girl. She was a very nice person, very nice, and she's from Agartha. That one I could boast that one is really human. She is the ancestral of the primordial humans that were in the Atlantis before. It's then up to us to discern whether these personal encounters are benevolent and beneficial for our growth or not. No, she came just to pass information. I see nothing wrong with that. She said many things will happen yet, will unfold along the time, and that she said a lot of things. Some I forgot. I forgot. A lot of things I forgot. But she said that we have to embrace ourselves, that we have to go through a lot of trouble, a lot of changes. But in 2014, the one who came said that there will a big thing come in, very big thing, and I must brace myself, and that many people will not survive what is to come, and men will perish. So we all have to pass a lot of tests now in the near future, and we have to be brilliant, all of us. Not that we aren't. We are all brilliant. We just need to wake up and realize it and start making conscious decisions, getting rid of all sloppy thoughts and make decisions based on the intentions that come from clear thoughts. We have a lot to learn in this little time we have at hand. So if we waste it, we will regret it. That's okay. There's always a way out of everything. Channeled material has often told us that the cradle of mankind stood in the constellation of Lyra. And I was saying the same thing in level 1. This seems to hold water when we are talking about the human template. It was apparently in Lyra the humanoid template was first tried with success. When they say the humanoid is not like exactly like us, they are slightly, if not a lot, different from us. Okay, so don't say that human came from Lyra because it's not true. I don't believe that. It's something like, okay, they have arms, they have legs, but they are different from us. In Lyra, the early galactic citizens saw a star race down which looked very similar to the Vulcans in Star Trek. Many researchers in exopolitics have since then realized that this popular science fiction series had a lot of truth in it. Sure, it is. It's not so only sci-fi. Is inspiration, is information, etc. This is not surprising if you understand that many Hollywood producers and other creative people are often part of exoteric societies, some of them dedicated to channeling. So was also the case with screenwriter, producer, and futurist Jenny Roddenberry, who developed the Star Trek series in 1964. He was a member of a society called the Council of Nine, which was channeling a collective of entities known as the Nine. Yeah, I knew a long time ago that all these directors, they deal with aliens and with other known members of this club were Uri Geller and Peter R. Farley, who used the channeled material from the Nine to write his book series Where Were You Before the Tree of Life? Roddenberry allegedly got the ideas to do too much of Star Trek from these channeled sessions. So also the look of the Vulcans, with their humanoid bodies, pointed ears, and a great analytical minds. Wow, analytical minds like Virgins. The Vulcans have, I have learned, a lot of similarities with the vegans from the big star system and the constellation of Lyra, and they were one of the first primordial races here on Earth. And some of them had blue skin, and I have told in others other videos they did had their nourishment from the sun, which was very cold, and their body, their skin was blue, a very beautiful blue. Just like humans on Earth, the Lyrans came in many different skin colors, and many had pointed ears just like Mr. Spock. There have been many civilizations on Earth before Homo sapiens came into existence 250,000, 300,000 years ago. And of course, 72 species to be precise, 72 species before the advent of the Homo sapiens 1 and Homo sapiens 2, which we are, which we have become, and we do have DNA strand from all these species, and that's why we are so valuable for the aliens. And I have said it many years ago in 2017. I ever had a discussion about it. Okay, so vegans at one time, once they become founders, helped creating earlier civilizations on Earth, which did have the Lyran humanoid template as part of their DNA. And we, like I say, we are a patches. So like a huge carpet, a huge, how to say, a huge tapestry work where everything is patched together. So sometimes what you call reincarnation come from our many years, long time ancestors. So this can be read as Lisa Royals and Kate Priest's material and has been researched and built upon by many researchers, including myself. Yeah, but sometimes people don't know how to break. They don't tell everything at one go, and they don't like how to break things. They don't know how to break things. Okay, they don't say that we are their descendants. that we have patches from them. And they don't say that those were one of the first primordial to step on earth. Okay, that was the vegans and the Lyrans, and they did have blue skin, and their nourishment was from the sun. They did not have to eat meat. They eat some substances which were blue. I'm not sure the vegetation back then were blue here on earth. As civilization rose and fell on earth, mankind eventually was created by mixing DNA from different star races. Okay, correct. And previously existing humanoid species who has been part of an experiment to create a living library on Earth. So this is when they decided to come in and then mix up all together and create hybrid. Okay? A lot of strand of DNA and mix up with the Homo sapiens, which were not ape. I repeat, they were not ape, and that the relations are right. So this experiment, however, is interrupted when the Syrian lords landed on Earth half a million years ago. And things changed drastically on the planet after that. Half a million years. Okay. Some say it would be, yeah, it's true. It's true. I always have been saying 500 years, so it's half million. Yeah. Correct. So the Syrian lord is landed, and with that came Enki, okay? Because why I say they ones from Orion, they go to, they try to dominate everything, the whole of the universe. There were a lot of Syrian, lot of Orion, and many other constellations. Okay, that was Enki. But who was behind the experiment with the living library? Was it Enki and his sister? Some say it was the Lyrans, while others say it was the Pleiadians. We already know that a lot of star races contribute with their own flora and fauna. But I have great reasons to believe that those who instigated the living library came from the Orion Empire, or the living library, not the manipulation of the new species. This may come as a shock to many because the Aryans, plural of Aryan, which signifies beings living in the Orion Empire, have quite a bad reputation here on Earth. There are star races from the Orion constellation who have a violent past. So some of the bad reputation may be justified. Yeah, of course, they have Draco DNA. But we also need to keep in mind who are in charge of this planet and have been for the last hundreds of thousands of years. In my previous papers in this level of learning, I said that the Aryans have a matriarchal view on cosmos, while the Syrians have a patriarchal one. That's why all those cultures that are patriarchal, Syrian in nature, governed by Syrians. Okay, so this has been proven beyond the doubt in metaphysics. No one doubts anymore that the Orion Queen is embracing the divine feminine and that the Syrians are patriarchs. But it doesn't matter who is female, male. It doesn't matter. What matters what their intents. Doesn't matter if the queen is a female, but she also is in cohorts with them. Then what? What's so great about her anyway? We only have to go to the Bible to find that out. And she also would not have been powerful. She is powerless to do anything about all the corruption going on because she allowed her stepson to do as he pleased. And this is stepson is Lucifer and Kai. And if you want to use metaphysical evidence, we have almost all channeled material and Sishin's books to refer to. On these matters, I think most of them are in agreement. The question is, why exactly is there such a tension between the matriarch and the patriarchy for power? Why have so many people died in the struggle between these polarities? Don't we smell a bigger story behind that? Yeah, because the men destroy everything. The woman, long time ago, as I said, the woman ruled, and that was impress who rules everything. They live simply. They live it in what called like the igloo, but it was made of some other materials. It was a very simple way of living. If those females wanted to create a roof above their heads in their children, they would just sing for the trees, and out of the trees would um, would sprung a house. Okay, this looks like fairy tale, but it really happened long time ago. And there was no war unless for protection. The women were mostly warrior, Amazonian woman warrior. Okay, they direct just about anything. Men was just a helper. I will say helper, because they say the queen have just given birth to them. They were new. The female was the first, so the males came later. So the queen must just think about what to do with them. So well, they become the helpers around, do job that the female couldn't do, the males would do. Or maybe the female was too tired, so ask them to help them to carry something. So they would help construct this and that. Okay, and well, having sex, multiply, etc. Um, if those females would be fertilized, they will give birth to female. If they wanted to fertilize, it will come out a male. Okay, and it went on like this for many, many thousands of years, and everything was okay. No war, everything okay, everything they accord with one another, every time agree with one another. I'm not sure if there was some unhappy males, but there were. Especially those very short one who the females did not choose to have sex with. So what they did, they team up with a guy to create the story of a Satan, of a devil that was about to come, and the females, especially so, the queen needed a male, a brute force of a male, and then that's how idolatry started. All the statues were created, and all this took time to come um, to existence. I mean, take time to become so predominant and become a system, a convention, a patriarchal system. And how they hijacked the females' power. And that's why they are so scared that females go into power, because they don't want to lose everything that they have, all the power, the brute force. Though you have and the others doesn't have, because if the males were about equality, everybody want to have equality. You can say communism, that's not communism, that's the equality, so that nobody suffers and everybody will equal. Okay, so that's how we came all the way, and that there indeed is start of a world. It started in another constellation, and this fashion came to earth when the patriarch war come into earth. Okay, When they invaded the earth, those patriarch beings came to earth, and they construct all their conventions in their system and their male hierarchy here, and that's why what we have right now, how it all started millions of years ago, supposedly in Orion. To this matter, I think most of them are in agreement. The question is, why exactly there's such a tension between the matriarchy? Yeah, I already explained why. Why have so many people died in the struggle between these? No, they haven't died. No, 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 no. The suffragists died when the women started to uh, fight for their right. I have seen vision of the Ming dynasty also. Women tried to fight for their right and are being enslaved by the emperor and are being punished by emperor in China in ancient China. I have seen the vision. I have seen. No, I have seen. I have read. Sorry, I have not seen. I have read, and I have been there also. I have been there as a suffragist. Many suffragists were imprisoned for what? Because they didn't want to wear those stupid clothes so warm just to please the males convention. They wanted the right to vote, and they wanted the right to go out and work. Okay, the simple basic things in life that any humans need to have. And the many suffragists were jailed because of this. Many ladies. And in England, New York, USA, etc. So don't smell a big story behind that. Yeah, I've already said. I certainly do, and I will do my best to answer this question throughout the paper in level 2. For serious reason, I will go into more details later on. The Syrians have a strong interest in keeping eyes in the dark regarding the feminine side of life, and therefore we can expect that information coming from them are mainly for the purpose to deceive or mislead. I believe that when Enkai was thrown away from the throne of Orion by his stepmother, by an evil stepmother who couldn't stand his antics, he came back. He went to Sirius, and then he formed his army there, and he come back with this plan to overthrow, because he don't want to be so rude with the females there. So he knows that how females are, they are moved by emotion and compassion, and many humans is very easy for you to fool them, unless they are very wise. They are very experienced in life and are older, then they will not fall easily. But many women is driven by emotion, by compassion, so they can just fool them and scare them, you see, with something like is very scary, a war, this and that. Then they want to protect their children, they want to protect their home, their cities, so they will do what that men want, you see. So, and Kai didn't have to come then fight human because they females, because he don't want to be seen as a coward. But he he create another tactic, to touch the queen's um, compassion and her heart and emotion. And he succeeded because she fell for it. She fell for it, and that's how religions was created by Enkai, who was now in Sirius, and I came back to Orion because you want to control everything. You want to take over everything. So it's quite commonly accepted by now that beings from the Syrian Empire were the ones who created the islands as a slavery race in a distant past, and are influencing our daily life up until this day. And the Sumerian cuneiform proves this as well. It's true. It's true. I already have said. I have warned about Sirius. They are not what they display themselves. They profess themselves, or they appear to be. But if the aliens aren't as bad as some people say, where are they? Why aren't they here manipulating us instead of or together with the Syrians? Most of us agree that the Orion Queen is powerful and a deadly threat to the Syrians. So why doesn't she and her people invade, throw out the Syrians and take over, or chase the Syrians away and become our new slave owners? They must have the power to do so, one would think. I don't think that she ever bother. She even bother about it. She doesn't bother, man. She doesn't bother. And in fact, I think that she's also in accord with all that. To be frank, she's in accord with all that. Or she's just too afraid. Okay, for being a female, not that she make she crap. I mean, she screwed up. When she created the female's form, she screwed up, and now she don't know how to remediate, how to fix her mistake, how to stop her stepson also. And she cannot do almost anything anymore because the males are strong. I need to be females are mentally stronger, but physically wise and technically wise, males are strong. I cannot deny it. I'm sincere. I have to tell the truth. So I think that she's too afraid. She feel like she's feeble and weak in that matter. So she just let it go. Say, oh, after all, it's not me. It's just my project or my investment. So why should I care? That's my view. I hope that I'm wrong. So we know from Sitchin, the Pleiadians and personal encounters, to name a few, that the man of power, the patriarchs, are basing their ideas from the lords of Sirius, the Sam, the Sa-Emai. Some say the Syrians left a long time ago, and if we pretend they did, mankind is still following their doctrines to the smallest word. Might be. But they are still controlled behind the scene. Don't be fooled. And Kai is master and control behind the scene, Duri. Now, evidence shows that a faction of the Syrians, in fact, never left, and has been running the show. Exactly how I thought that you didn't know that. Behind the scenes up to the present day, which then puts the puzzle pieces together and the whole thing makes sense. Yeah, exactly how I think. So, this much we do know from just a little research. Now the question, where are the aliens? Where is the matriarchal movement and the divine feminine? Sleeping. Where are the aliens? They already have loose power. They have loose power, but they are still operating behind the scenes. Don't be fooled. That's my view and my feeling. They are operating behind the scenes as much as the Syrians are. Where's the matriarchal movement and the divine feminine? Let me see. They are in cohort with males. This divine feminine or feminist movement is nothing but a political um, political shenanigans. You see, it's not as you see. They actually also in cohorts with female. There has been the true feminine power, but it was in the past, the time of the Greek. The Greek girls who really fight for their rights, the suffragists. But nowadays we don't have much of this feminine power. They are in cohorts with the patriarchal, you see, behind the scenes, and are telling them, using them as a muppetry to tell them what to do and what not to do. And what they got nowadays, what the woman is get is just the basics is human rights. Humans, not the woman. It's human rights. It's nothing. It's nothing. Okay? It's nothing. It's just the basic. And there's no more divine feminine nowadays. It's all nonsense. I would say that's Lilithism and Slatism, not divine feminine anymore. It's over. Because women are more and more with the sheep, the masculine sheep, and buoyed in them. And I call those the Lilithism. They are the Lilith. Because a true feminine woman, she will die and kill for her family and for her tribe, for her children, for her family, mother, father, etc. Those are the women who wake up early to go work, to feed their children, their family, and the whole. Those are the warriors. Okay? Who suffers a lot to bring the bread and the rice for her children. This is the true feminine nowadays. The rest, all those who talk so much. Feminist, the feminine movement is not go to the road and then have all this propaganda and movement and make lobby against the males, then open the bra to show off boobies, not shaving, This is exaggeration. You are trying to go to the level of a male mentality. And all those misogynistic women, those are the worst. Those who want to fight another woman. Those who oppress one another in the workplace, whatever. Those are the worst. Those are the misogynists. These are the rotten, the most awful species of woman on earth. Okay? So, what's left of the real feminine of the past, the real spirit and energy of the true feminism of the past is very, very, very rare. Very rare. There are, but they are rare. Okay? And they are being also oppressed and suppressed from speak up their mind, because there's always another faction who call themselves the right wings who go against them, you see, and they feel coward. They are coward from speaking up. Okay, this is what happened. And there is also the feministic man, the male also who are on the woman's side. This is the very nice males, okay, who are on the lady side. There's the woman who is on the men's side. But I don't know, for me this is a mess, because we are all creatures, okay? We are creatures in the body. So what for? You want to fight only because you have penis? A real man will not fight a lady. Just let her be. Let her be. You cannot stand her. Let her be. Leave her. Okay? Leave her. I know her. Leave her for good. But you don't need to kill a woman or beat her up or do some other stupid thing. Just let her be. I know this woman. Live with her. Okay? The real man will never do that. The real man is the working man, the good man, the family man. That, those are the real men, you know. And sadly, many women do not give value to family men. They prefer those scoundrels. Those are the misogynist ones. Those women have a ship of a pure boar. The boar is the one who cannot see past testosterone and male energy. So, where's the matters? Do you see any trace of that today in image of society? There is a trace, and now I explain why, what's happening, but it's very few, it's rare. Because they are those who you see as the feminine, those are not, this is just a mask. There's just a pseudo feminist. This is just a photocopy of the real suffragist in the true um, Greek feminists of the past that started in Greece. So the answer is no. Hence, I dare say that the Aryans are either not here, or if they are not. No, they are here, but they feel that, or they either they are planning another return, or they are just keeping a low profile. Okay, they are here, or possibly the opposite. Let's go back to the Syrian lords Akado Sa-Emai for a moment. It would certainly be in the best interest if we thought that they were the ones who created us. No, sis. No, but God created us once the multiverse, nature, so that we think we are in debt to them. I'm not in debt to them. I don't owe them nothing. Thus, they can keep their stronghold over not me and manipulate us as they please. One came to me in 2016. One came to me, and he's very powerful. You see, but he can only he came to, what to say that, to not say to threaten me like this openly, but covertly, in a very psychological way. They use psychology. Okay, he came to threaten me, and he was very powerful. And he came like a ascended master. And he said that he will give me power. Instead, he took away what I had. He tried to take it away. He removed it from me. He didn't put in. He removed it, and he laughed. A very, very satanic laugh. He had beard. Of course, this avatar, a robe, white robe. He have a lot of collar, black collar on the neck. Dogs around him. And he had dried dark hair. And I look like the avatar that you call Jesus. I won't say you won't see him, but maybe I don't know. But that being came, he also, I believe that this Jesus is a Syrian, and he came to strip away the power I had to see things. He took it away some. It was in 2016. Some of the reader may know I was recently in contact with you too, son of King Nanah of the Saamai race. I will talk about that later, but he was quick to point out to me that his people are our ancestors, not of all of us, I'm sorry, not all of us, not all, and that we need to start getting along and we need to forgive them for what they did to us in the past. That is, this would all be nice and good if it wasn't a lie. They did not create us, and they are not coming here in peace. Something he basically proved himself, obviously enough. Yes, they came here and hijacked an already existing experiment and created a slave race. But they did not create, of course, neither did Enkai. Neither did, is it him Enkai? Is it Sami Enkai? If he wants him, he didn't create eyes. He manipulate, he just have sex with a woman and create other hybrids. That's not creation. Also, I could say, yeah, I create my children because I made them, so I create them. No. Okay, it's just yeah, but it was not me who gave the template. Yes, they came here and hijacked an already existing experiment and created a slave race, but they did not create the eyes that already exist. Sure, of course, that's what I've been knocking the same pad here. My point is that the semi-eye have an investment here on earth, which is eyes, and many others have as well. And to be able to keep that investment, they have to lie about our origins. What about other star races? Why would they have to lie about who we are and where we came from? Because they are all in this together, believe me. Well, some of them work with the semi-eye, while others have their own agenda. But you can count on that whatever it is, it will suit their own purpose more than ours. They are all almost in it together. If they are not, they don't give a damn to us because they are that. Like, they say it's not our problem, we should not interfere. Do you understand? They have this emotion, it's not our problem, we should not interfere. It's their problem, and whoever created all this mess. So we will not interfere. Do you understand how it works? The thing that these star races have in common, whether they are working with the Sa MI or not, is that very few of them say that our credo is true then alright. I don't believe. I'm sorry, and one day I'm gonna prove you wrong, and you yourself gonna prove yourself wrong on that. Mark my word, it did not come from Orion at all. The simple reason for this is that the truth would hardly benefit any of them, and none of them is endorsing the divine feminine. And those who would basically be willing to tell lies are watching eyes in the background, unwilling to interfere, doing to that they respect basic universal laws. Exactly, they don't want to interfere, so they are right. Me, I myself, I'm not going to blame them because why should I? I'm not a selfish person. How come I require for people to help me? It's not right. If they want to help, they will help. Not okay. We hear from different sources that Orion is where the divine feminine is most prominent, and that exact information about the feminine is what's been suppressed here on earth, and that was what made me want to look into this matter a little bit closer. It sounds to me that the bad reputation is misdirected, so we'll bark up the wrong tree. A reptilian beehive society, all the legends and myths are telling us that the Orion constellation is the center of the universe, the place where stars were born. I'm not sure, I'm not saying yes or no, but I have my doubt. It was one of the oldest and easiest to pick out. In Greek mythology, Orion is known as the Great Hunter and depicted as a male entity, which is symbolizing the ferocious male Aryan defenders of the empire. See how that's what I said. It's depicting a male because it was twisted. Do you understand? It was twisted, it was distorted. It was once purely female, and when Enkai came from Sirius, he invented that story about a devil who was about to come and attack the females, the queens, the princess, all that, and they give in to them, and this is how we all start the male hierarchy. So how come he says a feminine, divine feminine, when it is about a male, depicted as a male? How to get it? In Aryan language, this word is called mak. Warriors according to morning skies research. The star Bellatrix Gamma Orionis means female warrior and is referring to the mythology about the giant Amazon female warriors who could defeat almost any enemy. Orion was also the son of Poseidon, and we know that Poseidon is the Greek name for Ea, or the Enki, whose father, a Syrian king of the highest rank, correction, Saturn king to be precise, Nibiru king. Only because he invaded Syria doesn't mean make them Syrian. He was originally from Saturn and Nibiru. Okay, number 16, the Sumerian pantheon ranking system, married to the Orion king queen, which is the stepmother of Enki, as part of a peace treaty that we are going to get into the paper after the next. According to Suchin in the Sam Emai, the Syrian king name is En or Anu. With his club is chasing the bull constellation of Taurus. Although there is no myth speaking of such a battle, the hunter's dogs, Sirius, Canis Major, and Procyon. Procyon, there's a lot of tall grays over there. And Gomeza, Canis Minor, are falling at his heels. The latter are representing the Syrians, a woven reptilian species called dog race, called dog star. I like dog, but they make me stay away from dogs. And now it's cat who came into my life. Oh, I mean, I love kitties, but I like dogs. Once he been advised gods for the Orion Queen, of what the Aryans call the Mother's Court, referred to the Mother Goddess, just working for the matriarch. Yeah, I say that the reptilian really respect her, and I die and kill for her. However, this alliance would later be broken. Ah. So, Jerry Saley, who translated and wrote a synopsis to Anton Parks. Orion consists of stars 10 times farther away than Sirius and are dispersed over a large volume of space. Numerous genus of bull reptilian races colonies are found in the region, strongly allied and mixed with humanoid beings native to the area. Together they have created a hybrid race. These peoples multiply themselves via sexual reproduction. Of course, I knew it. Although some of the races in the universe are sexual, most races are produced through genetic engineering and cloning. Yep, that's the grace. Sexuality, as you know it in humans, is not the most common way of reproducing if you account the overall amount of different species in the whole universe. Of course not. Some just go to the lab and then create a being there like that grace. Among some reptilian race in the universe, the female lay eggs, which they may or may not be fertilized. We can see the later happen here on Earth as well. Among frogs, fish, interestingly enough, even Komodo dragons, and even more interestingly, in bees. Bees, ants, snake, poison snake also lay eggs. Pythons lay eggs. So what's a big deal? Because all these represented the reptilian race in a way. In the bee society, The queen only mates once and carries the seed from the male inside her, which can then be used to fertilize all eggs she ever lays. But moreover, some eggs she lays are never fertilized. Chicken also cannot all eggs are fertilized. I mean, they can lay eggs whether they are fertilized or not. I mean, they don't have to mate for a rooster to lay eggs. But if they want to have babies, they have to be fertilized if a male, okay? And the birds evolved from the reptiles, or vice versa. Birds are evolution from that species. These eggs develop and become the drones male bees exclusively, while fertilized eggs always become females. This is particularly interesting because the original reptilian alien species are often being thought of as a beehive society. Researchers have described them as having the Orion queen in the middle and the rest of the societal structure circling around her. Haven't I not I say that this is a reptilian queen? Have not I? Therefore, so the alien here is not a species, is a title, something like that. It's a nationality or title. Therefore, the alien species have been looked at the open as mindless, dangerous killing machines committed to group thinking. Hence, the actual thinking is done by the queen herself. So why you pull the sack of this queen? I told you that she is a reptilian queen and she is not to be trusted. And I believe that many children that disappear is given as sacrifice for these reptilians to give over to the queen, because they serve her wholeheartedly. They give everything to her. They kill and die for her. The rest of the community is then willing to sacrifice, themselves without thinking twice to protect. Did I say what I said? I knew it a long, long time ago, all this. Nobody need to tell me, it's from inside that I know. This may or may not have been how it all started, but most certainly not how it is anymore. It is anymore, and I'll explain why in a moment. Does mean they have changed? When researching this species, it comes to mind that they are not only reptilian, but most probably have an insect-like ancestry as well. But doesn't mean that they're gonna change their culture. The cultures continue the same in servitude to the queen. At least if we are to believe the symbolism the alien have left behind here on earth. Something will go deeper into a few paragraphs, but you can also see this if you read Robert Morning Sky earlier work. I don't trust that the Indian, that shamanic guy in a way, not so much. Such as the Eden, Atlantis, and the Wolf myth from the early 1990s. There is his telling us exactly the same thing about how the Orion Queen chooses whether her offspring is going to be a male or female by either fertilizing or not fertilizing her eggs. And they take away the power that we have to choose. But I said already how to choose males or female. Only the in fact unfertilized eggs become males. Allegedly, Morning Sky got this information from the Star Elder, whom his native Indian ancestors saved from a wolf crush in the night forest. These people are all aliens, minion and way. There's something about these people I don't trust them. I'm sorry. I have I have at least 17% of these people, but I'm sorry. I just cannot trust. When I feel something is either true or going to happen. I don't trust them. They follow something. They follow the Syrians, Syria's master overlord. He had the story from his grandfather, and has since then spent most of his life researching and expanding on what he was told. Morningsky's research led him to the conclusion that in Orion things are centered on the females, whom are the nurturing aspect of life. Yeah, that's a reptilian culture like that. It's about female, female, female. While the males are the protectors of the females, also being hunters and warriors. Yeah, that's mean what? That the females have not much power because they give the power to somebody else, the males. And this makes them what? Misogynist. Those reptilian females are misogynist, and are very, very sexual. You understand? Their nature doesn't mean that this is male gonna respect them 100%. No, they don't. Except that queen, they do, but the rest they don't. They won't because they theirs are a patriarchy culture society. Okay, and the females have to abide and obey them. Morningsky's research led him to the conclusion that in Orion things are okay. From what it looks like, and which I brought up to some extent in paper, the universe is protecting the feminine aspect of reality. I don't think so, man. It's not like that. And the Aryan race may have taken that aspect to heart and created their lives around it, or perhaps it was the other way around. I don't know about the Aryan. I don't know about the Aryans. But the reptilian does not respect female. That's not true. I already met with a reptilian in 2018. I know he was very respectful, very powerful and respectful. Okay, but I will not say that they, if they are species, they are respectful. He was towards me, but I'm not sure whether he is toward the other people or other one of their species. I would say no, they aren't. Once upon a time, when the universe was young, this beehive reptilian insectoid race was created to be guardians of the divine feminine. No way, you are wrong in that. I'm gonna correct. Who are more centered towards the females, a bit, are some species of grace, not the zeta reticuli. That one's very rude, and they already have gotten a tight slap from me. Meet up with them in 2014, and I got a tight slap, and I just swung them around by the hands, and their skin, the material, the thing's very very soft, very fragile, look like marshmallow, and I love it to touch because it look like marshmallow that I feel like eat it. So the grace you can put them around your finger like this and wrap up. They are more centered towards the females. However, the not the reptilian, and the grace doesn't have like penis. I don't think that they have a genitalia. Okay, they reproduce to mix DNA. This could make sense, and so many sources are telling us that the Orion Queen Ahab people perhaps is one of the oldest star races in the universe. Yeah. Same old story. I don't think so, because you all work for reptilian doesn't mean it's true. I don't think so. Once we realize that the universe is feminine in its essence, then that would make even more sense. The rest after that are just complications of its original concept. created by the goddess to protect her own energy before the game, which we call life, continued elsewhere in the universe. This would also explain the constellation of Orion being the male hunter, the protector of the feminine. Oh my gosh. With his club always been ready to defend the goddess and have female representatives of the Orion Empire. Yeah, I know that. But because it was twisted, it was never like this before. They were very subjugated to the females until things turned around when the Enkai come in and try to persuade the queen from allow him to create a male hierarchy. But there is more to the story, much more. As we mentioned before, the star Bellatrix is called the Amazon star, referring to the mythological Amazon warriors, who were all giant females, ferocious in battle and feared by all male warriors, no matter how skilled. This indicates the females of Orion may be the superior ones on the battlefield if push comes to shove. Really, I find it so hard to believe this. I don't believe in many things. Okay, that's it for now, number one. Oh my gosh. Oh my god.